There's a land where the mountains are nameless, and the rivers all run God knows where. There are lives that are earring and aimless, and deaths that just hang in the air. There are hardships that nobody reckons. There are valleys unpeopled and still. There's a land, oh it beckons and beckons, and I want to go back, and I will. This trip would begin with an extremely long drive across Canada. I would travel over 5,000 kilometers from Ontario's massive Great Lakes to the prairies in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta, to the mountains of northern BC and the Yukon. What a beautiful country we have. There's regret in my soul that I did not invite. And I've got a secret, and I did not intend to keep it. Covered up my soul for far too long. And I've got a message from Colorado straight from Texas. You captured most of me, just let me be. Don't let go, I need you like now more than ever before. Once you forsake me, don't let it be now. Eventually, after several long days on the road, me and the pups would arrive in Whitehorse, where we'd pick Ashley up from the airport. Ashley wasn't able to drive with us as she had some work obligations, but we were happy to see her again and get this trip started.
How was the flight, baby? Good flight? Good enough?
It was good enough.
Ready to get canoeing?
Yeah.
Okay.
After a quick check of all our gear at the motel in Whitehorse, it was time to get on the water. Our 700-kilometer trip from Whitehorse to Dawson was about to begin.
Feels so good.
Oh, it feels so good. Oh, welcome back to the Yukon.
Yeah. This is only my second time being in the canoe this year.
Oh, this feels good.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I feel so happy.
It's so cool, isn't
Yeah,
it? It's so good to be back here.
it is, yeah.
Yeah. So we just started the Yukon River. We've got about 12 days to flow down from Whitehorse to Dawson City, and it feels honestly amazing to be back here right now. The Yukon's a spot we've spent a lot of time, and it's almost like a second home for us in a lot of ways. Just love it. Love it.
Ashley and I have a real love affair with the Yukon, and it's a place we've spent many summers exploring and paddling. It's actually how we became completely addicted to canoe tripping. We were on a backpacking trip in the Yukon that didn't exactly go to plan. And because of this, we had some extra time to kill. We decided to rent a canoe for the day and take a little trip down the Yukon River. This day trip completely changed both of our lives, and I told Ashley that the next year we would return to paddle the 700 kilometers from Whitehorse to Dawson on our own. Ashley thought I was crazy, but the following year we returned and paddled the Yukon. To this day, it still feels like the wildest trip we've done, and was truly the adventure of a lifetime.
Studying about that good old way, and who shall wear this robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Go, brothers, let's go down, let's go down. Come on, brothers, let's go down, down to the river to pray. Go, fathers, let's go down, let's go down, come on down. Oh, fathers, let's go down, down to the river to pray.
It doesn't take long to leave Whitehorse behind and feel like you've completely disappeared into the wild. As we were flowing down the Yukon, I was reminded of one of the first things that struck me on our first day trip down the river. All of the bald eagles. It seemed like around every bend there was another eagle or two keeping a close eye on you. After several hours of paddling, we would make it to Lake Labarge, a massive 50-kilometer long lake that many paddlers choose to skip. But in our eyes, it's one of the most beautiful parts of the Yukon River journey. With flat, calm conditions on the lake, Ashley and I made good progress along the shoreline, and eventually we'd find a perfect little campsite to enjoy this incredible first day on our trip.
That was a really, really awesome day that we had on the river. And the very start of Lake LaBarge here has been gorgeous, as always. There's some smoke that's blowing in from a forest fire that started 2 days ago in the Ibex Valley, which is not very far outside of Whitehorse. And it's quite smoky and hazy here right now, but otherwise, absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. Stunning.
Waking up day 2, it was clear that the conditions had changed. The calm, clear sky was replaced with thick smoke, and the wind was making the lake quite choppy. In places along Lake LaBarge, it can be fairly difficult to get off the water, so staying close to shore and common sense are key. But we were both excited to continue our journey.
Good?
Oh, good. Bit rough on the water this morning.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
No, it's not.
It's in our favour.
Yeah.
Baby,
Yeah.
do you remember when you tried to make a sail?
No.
You don't?
No, what happened?
You remember?
I don't remember.
You were trying really hard to make a sail. I can't remember if it was for this lake or for Teslin, but anyway, you were trying to make a sail really bad and it didn't work and you had a tantrum.
I had a temper tantrum?
You were in such a bad mood because you couldn't get it to work.
That doesn't sound like me.
Oh no.
That does not sound like me. I'm not that kind of person. I like to remain calm at all times.
You're extremely chill.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up, sweetheart.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, I love you.
But in addition,
Yeah,
you're very handsome.
thank you. Okay. Cut me down just to build me back up again.
I like to keep you on your toes in this relationship.
Yeah, no, you're doing a good job.
I can't let you be too comfortable.
Yeah, no, don't worry, I'm not. So I think I'm actually going to need you to paddle here. You give up?
Done.
After another long day on the water, Ashley and I found a perfect little camp, tucked up in the bush with a beautiful mountain backdrop. If you ever wanted to camp in a land that felt like paradise, surely this must be it. There's little doubt why the Yukon is such a bucket list trip for so many. It's hard to describe how we felt doing this trip for a second time, but I know we both felt extremely fortunate to be here.
Bit of a long day. We didn't get really on the water until 11 o'clock or so. Stopped paddling just before 5, but we've only got another 12 or 13 kilometers left to go on Lake Labarge, and then we're on the Yukon River again, and it will be river travel for the rest of the trip. So that's something to look forward to. Morning of day 3 it is today on the Yukon River, and we're just finishing up Lake Labarge here. We've maybe got another 8 kilometers or so to go, and it's a bumpy ride. First thing this morning. Not terrible, but we're definitely bouncing around.
Day 3 would end up being an extremely short travel day for us. We made fairly quick work of Lake Labarge in the morning, and we were once again back on the Yukon in the current. After a long 50-kilometer stretch of flat water, the current was a welcome change. The section of water past Lake Labarge is called 30 Mile, and it's probably the most scenic and beautiful part of the Yukon River. The problem for us was that there was a storm coming. Getting soaked and not being able to fully enjoy this section of river didn't seem like a wise decision. Even though we were having a blast paddling down 30 Mile, we decided to camp and hope for better weather tomorrow. Being warm, dry, and well fed, sitting underneath the tarp, enjoying the scenery seemed like the perfect way to spend the rest of the day. We were running a little bit behind on our schedule now though, so we were both hoping that the weather would improve, we could make up the kilometers we'd planned on making today. Regardless, I don't think either the dogs or us minded the extra rest.
How good does that sun feel right now?
Oh, it feels amazing.
Yeah, so nice.
Makes putting on wet socks a lot better.
No doubt. Morning, Hugo. Morning, buddy. Daddy. Oh, that is a nice morning.
Oh, so nice.
That is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. It's sunny, but also like a lot of the smoke's cleared as well.
Yeah, the smoke is, yeah, no, it is just perfect this morning.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow.
We'll be looking out for Domville Creek, river right.
Cool. You keep navigating.
You keep paddling. Really cool on the Yukon. There's a ton of history, and there's a whole pile of old wood camps where they would literally just cut wood for all the steam wheelers, paddle wheelers, all the boats that are going up the river. Sometimes there's old cabins and remains, so we'll check this one out and see what's here. Cool, eh? Old cabin. Look at that's the old wood stove there, right? Yeah.
Oh, this is cool.
Yeah. Lots of trees growing in this cabin.
Yeah, Bruce been off this for a long time, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Look at all the old woodwork though. Eh? You coming?
Oh wow. Hello.
Oh, super cool. That's not just cool, baby. That is super cool.
Super duper cool.
Wow, look at. Have we seen this before?
I actually don't think we have.
That is wild.
I think
Look at this thing. Look at this. Holy. Huh. That's insane. Norcom. Huh. I don't want to go too far here because I don't know if the planks are rotten, but that is wild. That is incredibly cool. Yeah, I can't believe we haven't seen this before. That is such a cool thing to see. Giant ship. Amazing. We've just passed Hootalinqua now, and the Teslin is flowing into the Yukon River. You can see the change in the color on the river right now, and it's definitely kind of widened out. There's more water, and it seems a bit deeper as well. What are you up to?
I'm just getting our rain gear ready just in case, because there's some suspicious looking clouds around.
Donnie Dark Cloud.
Donnie dark cloud. Putting the solar panel away.
What's that?
Nothing. Toilet paper.
So putting the toilet paper away. Secretly, like that was nice how you did that. That was very stealthy.
I can't believe you just called me out like that.
Oh yeah, well no, I was waiting. I'm like, she's looking at it. And then she goes, really quickly, jam that in there.
Oh my god.
Okay?
After another long day on the water, Ash and I would find the nice camp, tucked up in the bush with a gorgeous view of the mighty Yukon, just a few feet away from our tarp. What an incredible day on the water. This was easily becoming one of the nicest canoe trips we'd been on, but we still had hundreds of kilometers yet to go. All we could do was hope that the rest of the trip would go as smoothly as our first few days and enjoy the evening.
Hope you're hungry.
I think that was probably the nicest day we've had on the trip so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really gorgeous weather, and we managed to cover a ton of ground today. I think somewhere around 130 kilometers downriver, which is good.
Yeah.
It's good. We're definitely on track on where we're hoping to be. I think the first time we did the Yukon River from Whitehorse to Dawson, it was maybe our third real canoe trip, and it was a real adventure. It was quite scary at times, daunting. 700 kilometers of wilderness river travel in the Yukon seemed almost terrifying at times, I would say. But
Yep.
it truly was the adventure of a lifetime, and absolutely loved it.
Yeah. Felt like a big accomplishment at the end.
Yeah, it really was a big accomplishment. It felt like you'd really achieved something. Ready to roll, Hugo? Morning of day 5 now, and it's another almost perfect day here in the Yukon. We're just at the confluence of the Big Salmon River right now, I think. Yeah, right beside us here. And Big Salmon Village coming up ahead. Should be an awesome day.
One of the best parts about paddling the Yukon River is all of the history and artifacts from the gold rush era. From old wood yards to dredges to cabins, nearly every day you find something new to explore, and today was no different. Spare parts, it sounds like.
Basically spare parts. A stripped down Caterpillar tractor, car motor, various homemade parts. They only used it for one summer and it's remained here ever since.
Let's go see what's left.
I don't know if
Sears Gold Dredge was built in 1940 by two men and traveled down the Yukon River from Whitehorse to where it lays abandoned today. Along the journey, they would be shot at by rival miners and eventually mine around $2,300 in gold at $32 an ounce. What an unbelievably wild summer that would have been for these two fellas.
I'm not quite sure what any of this really is, but parts of an old homemade dredge. Oh, that's cool. Sick outdoor.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Good eye. That's super neat.
Our next stop was Byers or Erickson's Wood Camp, which was apparently one of the last large wood camps along the upper Yukon.
Cool.
Oh, there's an old cabin, eh?
Yeah, there's a couple.
Oh, neat.
At the end of its time, it was reported they were hauling wood over 20 miles with an old truck to supply the camp.
Cool.
God, you should see this cornflakes box. There's this old, look in there. Or is that, no, it's not cornflakes. Bran flakes. Made by Kellogg.
There's not much left now other than the remnants of a few old cabins, but it's still worth the stop.
Norman Erickson, June 27th, 1935 to March 29th, 2014. Wow.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. See those cabins. They've obviously been here for a long time. This was an old wood yard, Erickson's Wood Yard, this was called. So you're breaking out the umbrella.
Yeah, I've been dying to.
I'm having a hard time with this one. I understand it, but I don't know. I think this is like the equivalent of carrying a chihuahua around in a purse.
Oh, look at this.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is it.
Oh. Here we are. So here we are in the Yukon. What'd you see your trip, Keenan? Well, I was looking at an umbrella. I'll tell you, this will make for a good video. This will make for a good video here. Yeah, here, let me.
You guys really in the shade,
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna go over for a close-up. Look at the rapids ahead of us. Oh, yep, that was a nice grizzly bear over there. Oh yeah.
It's really shaded
Oh
though.
God, this is good. Yeah. Well, I like your purchase, sweetheart. Yeah. No, this is good. This is good. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, baby. Oh, but I don't need a reverend. Oh no, just you and me.
ready?
Camp for the night.
Camp for the night.
So good. So good. It's hard to believe, but it's the end of day 5 already. This trip actually feels like it's just flying by. It feels like we just started.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're about 50 kilometers now from Carmack's, which marks kind of the halfway point of the trip down the Yukon. A lot of people stop at Carmack's and do half the river, but we're going to carry on and head to Dawson.
Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to the part from Carmack's to Dawson, because we've only done that section once before, and that was years ago, and I just remember it feeling even wilder than this section for some reason. I think some of it's probably a bit more isolated. Plus there's the Five Finger Rapids, and I'm really excited about that. Yeah.
Morning of day 6 now. Oh, that's crazy. 6 days in. Today's big stop is Carmack's, which we'll do a little resupply in and hopefully get a bite to eat. But looks like it's going to be another perfect day here in the Yukon.
This section of the Yukon is quite developed with roads and power lines nearby. It's kind of a weird feeling seeing vehicles after not seeing anything for nearly a week, but it's all part of the journey and it doesn't last for too long. Shortly after Carmack's, the highway veers off, leaving you all alone on the Yukon for hundreds of kilometers. But first, it was time to grab some food and do a quick resupply in town.
Nice, baby. We're here. I'm gonna get the 2-piece fish and chips, please.
And 2-piece fish and chips, and a small fries.
Oh, tell me that doesn't look good right now. Oh, nice one.
Looks terrible.
Oh, look at this fish and chips too. Oh, that's good batter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a dill. It's got like a dill in it.
You're a bad person.
Oh, cheers, baby.
Cheers.
Halfway.
Halfway.
Holy lordy. That burger's weighing us down.
After enjoying a delicious burger and some fish and chips at the coal mine campground, it was time to get back on the water. We wouldn't paddle for too much longer though. Not far past Carmack's lays the only real rapids along this stretch of the Yukon, the infamous Five Finger Rapids. We decided we'd rather tackle this in the morning, and ended up camping at an old abandoned coal mine about 5 miles upriver from the rapids. Ashley always says that paddling the Yukon is like a trip through a living museum. Camping in an old coal mine was just another example of this. What a place.
Home for the night. Quite open in here, eh?
Yeah, very.
Ashley and I would have a quiet night at our camp, relaxing and soaking up the sun, reminiscing about our last time through the Five Finger Rapids, which was kind of terrifying our first time through, and something we still laugh about today.
Definitely looking forward to tomorrow, running Five Finger Rapids, which is a big obstacle for a lot of paddlers on the Yukon River. I know it was definitely for us, our first time through here. It was a little bit terrifying. There might have even been some tears shed on an island that we won't bring up. On.
But you literally just did.
Okay, maybe we did. Kind of like a giant wave train, really. It's not anything technical at all. Just keep it straight, more or less, and we should be just fine. Looks like this here is where the old coal mine actually was. I'm not sure if that's a retaining wall or part of an old cabin or maybe part of a little mine shaft, but kind of cool. And this here looks like it's actually coal. Look at down here. That's all coal. That's super cool. This whole path here is actually just black coal. Beautiful view of the Yukon. Day 7 already, and we're a few kilometers from one of the parts that I think both Ash and I are most excited about in the Five Finger Rapids. So, gorgeous, gorgeous start to the day, and should be exciting. How are you feeling?
Am I feeling?
Yeah.
I'm a little bit nervous.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm mostly excited. I'm definitely nowhere near as afraid as I was the first time. I cried. But then as we were going through them, it was awesome and amazing and fun.
Yep.
So definitely feel a lot different, but I'm still a little bit nervous. Don't have much experience with rapids, so
We'll get through it.
yeah.
You can see people up there?
Yeah. Right above where that bird.
Okay, let's get right. Give her.
Okay, can you put the camera down?
Okay, camera going down. Lou, lay down, sweetheart. Girl. Definitely quick through here though. Let's get over to the middle a bit more.
Right to the middle.
Here we go. Nice work, sweetheart. Nice work. Awesome.
That was awesome.
That's so cool. Love that.
That was so much fun.
Love that.
We're going that way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a cross cut, sweetheart. How's that feel?
So good.
Yeah.
I want to do it again.
Yeah, I hear ya.
Yeah.
I hear ya. I kind of want to just go down that all day.
Yeah.
Eh?
It was really fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, we've got the Rink Rapids coming up, so
Yeah,
maybe we'll be able to get in them a little bit.
exciting. And it was nice that you got to wave at those people. Eh? Man, did you ever get excited.
You said I look like a little kid.
Oh, you look like a 3-year-old waving. Eh? You were so happy. Here little Ashley goes down the 5-finger rapids. Look at me. Look at my little paddle. Let me swing this little paddle around. Oh, I love that. That was so good. Nice work, baby.
You too, baby.
Hey,
It's bigger than the
hey,
rapids.
keep the bow in the water.
It's bigger than the rapids, isn't it?
Eh? Holy man. Windy.
Eventually, Ashley and I would complete the rapids and come to the next point of interest along the Yukon, the ashes of Sam McGee, a Yukoner made famous by poet Robert Service, who, after hearing a story about a man who was cremated in the boiler of a riverboat frozen in the ice of Lake Labarge. This poem, The Cremation of Sam McGee, is an iconic piece of Yukon literature. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. the Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The Northern Lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake Labarge I cremated Sam McGee.
Bit of a goat path up here. Oh wow. Like a sod roof.
Just watch for nails and stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, cool. Ooh, what do we got?
Oh, look at this door. There's like, it must have been an old sign. Something copper, something creek. I'm gonna guess that was Williams Creek, something copper mining company.
Oh, wow. Like the roof. I can't believe that the roof isn't completely rotten.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
It was getting to that time of day again where we needed to find a campsite. It was an incredibly hot day, so a spot with some shade was a must. We eventually found a site called Tom's Location, with a shady patch in the trees, an impressive cabin, and to top it off in the distance was a view of some thin-horned sheep up on a mountain. This was probably our favorite site on the whole river.
So, you want me to tell you about it?
Yeah.
Seeing as you asked. So this is called Tom's Location. So it says here, and this is the Yukon River guidebook, which you should definitely get if you're going to do this river. So it would appear that Ernest Leslie Toms moved to this site sometime after serving as a roadhouse keeper on Indian River. Although I have no specific dates, it is clear that Toms moved to this site utilizing some existing buildings. G.I. Cameron, who knew him well, claimed there had been a roadhouse here in the early days. It is possible that this was H.B. Welch's first homestead and roadhouse location of 1900 before the establishment of Minto in 1903. And we actually just passed through Minto on the way here. Putting up some new buildings, Toms lived here alone until G.I. Cameron, while on patrol for the RCMP, found him dead in his cabin, just as Toms had always foretold he would, and buried him as he had requested on the hill behind the site. Tom's main cabin is still in good condition. Other artifacts can be found around the site. At the base of the hill behind the site are the outlines of a number of fairly large buildings, which they think may have been the roadhouse. Just above this, on the bench, is the lonely grave of Leslie Toms. Yeah.
Kind of cool. Like
Kinda
kind of
cool.
creepy that we
Kinda
camping here,
creepy.
but you know what? The guy probably lived a really good life, so
Sounds
bury
like
me where I love.
sounds like he died doing what he loved, so
We would awake to a wet, cold day in the Yukon, and we were grateful to have Tom's cabin as a dry spot to enjoy breakfast and wait for the weather to clear, which eventually it would. Back on the water again, but before paddling too far, we'd stop to get another glimpse of the sheep up on the mountain. Today's goal was to make it to Fort Selkirk, a former trading post at the confluence of the Yukon and Pelly River, and for many years home to the Selkirk First Nation. With so many old buildings to explore, it once again feels like you're stepping back in time.
You want to go back to school?
Ashley and I would spend a few hours looking around Fort Selkirk, exploring the buildings from an old general store to the community church, the school, and the interpretive center. You could easily spend all day there, looking at old photos of a bygone era. Fort Selkirk is certainly worth exploring, and truthfully, I kind of wish we'd spent more time there. But with a late start to the day, we needed to make a few kilometers. We were really hoping to be able to paddle the Big Salmon River as soon as we completed the Yukon, but with limited time and pre-arranged shuttles, we were hoping we could stay on schedule and not have to cancel our next big adventure. So it was back on the river to find another campsite for the evening.
How was it? Hitting the spot?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Well, that was another really excellent day. Bit of weather to start the day, and the real highlight of the day was getting the opportunity again to visit Fort Selkirk. I think we're both very excited for the next few days to see what comes.
The following morning, we would get up early and try and get on the water in good time. They were calling for a storm that afternoon, and we actually debated even leaving camp, but decided to paddle down the river until the rain started. In the end, it was a great decision, as I ended up catching a nice little grayling, and we also got a chance to watch a small black bear wander down the river beside us.
I've cast it so many times now, and I finally got this beautiful little grayling here. Look at this guy. Gorgeous, gorgeous little fish. We're gonna let him go.
Thankfully, the storm would pass and the clouds would clear, allowing us to enjoy another evening on the Yukon. I'm not sure whether it's the mountains, the river, or just where we are, but there's something about the Yukon that makes you feel incredibly small. The only time I get the same feeling in Ontario is on the Great Lakes, but every time I'm in the Yukon, I feel like I'm just a tiny speck in a vast land. With the hopes of good weather in the forecast, once again, Ashley and I would set off for another day of adventure down the river. I think one of our favorite parts about river travel, especially in the Yukon, is just how quickly the scenery can change and the pace of travel. With current pushing you along, at times, even without paddling, you can still travel over 10 kilometers an hour. With every bend on the river comes another opportunity for wildlife, fishing holes, or just more amazing scenery. Sometimes you're lucky enough to get all three.
Gorgeous, gorgeous little fish. I actually hooked him quite good, so I'm gonna keep him and have a little fish fry here. But that is a gorgeous fish, and I couldn't be happier to catch my first little in canoe.
We'd spend some time on shore filleting and frying up our catch. Nothing beats fresh fish on a canoe trip.
Canoe.
Almost immediately after eating, we'd see a couple of mule deer wandering along the banks of the river. They had no idea we were there, and we were more than happy to watch them silently from a distance. Just around another bend in the river, we'd get lucky and watch a couple of black bears wander down the bank of the river, just as leisurely and playfully as a couple of kids walking down a city sidewalk. The Yukon's not just a highway for canoes and people in the Yukon, but seemingly everything that lives here. This would top off what had been a great day of travel down the river, and we'd made great progress as well. Once again, though, it was time to find a campsite, enjoy what was one of our final nights on the river.
Go. Morning of day 11, I think now, and it is absolutely perfect conditions on the river this morning. So silty here, eh?
Very, yeah. You can literally like see clouds of silt
Yeah.
mixing.
Volcanic ash and silt, glacial silt.
Makes for tasty drinking water.
Shortly after leaving camp, we would arrive at the confluence of the Yukon and White River. The White River completely changes the Yukon, from relatively clear turquoise water to a silty brown color. The White River is full of glacial silt and volcanic ash caused by a massive volcanic eruption in eastern Alaska. It's been reported that in the Wrangell Mountains, at the headwaters of the White, there are deposits of ash up to 300 feet deep. This would be our last full day on the river. Knowing that we were less than 100 kilometers from Dawson City meant that we could really relax and soak up the small amount of time we had left on this magical river. We briefly thought about finishing the trip this day, but in the end, we decided to camp one more night before finishing in Dawson. We found a small island site with just enough room for our tarp and a gravel beach to relax and reflect on the trip.
We don't have much time left on this river, so we're trying to enjoy the time that we have left, and it's really turned out to be a perfect evening. But a few days from now, we'll be starting another river trip. So we're starting to look forward to that one.
Yep, doing a little bit of logistical planning right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Whilst also trying to be in the moment.
that's right. It's crazy how fast 700 kilometers goes. It literally feels like yesterday we started and we're almost done. We are almost to Dawson City.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We can't really high five yet. Right?
I just like high-fiving you.
Okay, well, we got to do a big one at the end.
Okay.
Okay? One
Okay, take
one
it
more
back.
day.
Take it back.
One more day.
Waking up the final morning, I think even our dogs knew that this special trip was about to end. It's always a mixed feeling ending trips. Part of you is happy and excited to be finished and move on to the next chapter, and then the other part of you never really wants the trip to be complete.
Time to turn to the final page. Final page. Dawson. Almost there, baby.
Here we go. Here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Regardless of how we felt, within a couple of hours, we were finally in Dawson City, one of the most unique places we've ever had the pleasure of visiting.
Legs grow tired, and yes, I'm stumbling. I'm stumbling on a peace of mind. There's regret in my soul that I did not invite. And I've got a secret, and I do not intend to keep it. Covered up my soul for far too long. And I've got a message from Colorado straight from Texas. You captured most of me.
We had completed the Yukon. What years ago we thought was the wildest trip we'd ever done, we had completed once again. This, for so many people, is the trip of a lifetime, and we completely understand why. The feeling you get being in this wild space, canoeing through rapids, getting to see all the incredible wildlife. There's just not many places like the Yukon in this seemingly ever-shrinking world. I think Ash and I both feel like the luckiest people alive to be able to explore this wild place together.
Don't let go. I need you like now more than ever before. Once you forsake me, don't let it be now. 'Cause there is a place that I like to go, and no one can listen and judge.
Now, there's only one thing left to do, the famous sourdough at the downtown hotel. When I say sourdough, what I mean is a real, mummified human toe placed on a shot of whiskey. When you drink the shot, the toe must touch your lips. As the rules state, you can drink it fast, you can drink it slow, but your lips must touch that gnarly toe.
Sisters, let's go down, let's go down. Oh, sisters, let's go down, down to
Be pulp and paper. The wind blows out of the east. You can drink it fast. You can drink it slow. But your lips must touch this gnarly toe. Just your lips. No teeth. No tongue. No tongue.
Thank you.
Sure. Appreciate it. Thank you.
No fathers, let's go down, let's go down, come on down. Oh fathers, let's go down.